Good evening. Welcome to the first meeting of the 2023 year planning board. Would you please join us in the pledge of allegiance? Ashley, would you lead us off, please?
Sure. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We're going to start with some organizational items to take care of the year. And the first one would be a motion to appoint Cynthia Chamberlain as planning board clerk for the year 2023. Would somebody like to make that in a motion?
So move.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Duval,
Yes.
Mr. Abbey,
Yes.
Mr. Snyder,
Yes.
Mr. Bloss.
Yes.
And I vote yes. Congratulations and thank you. Next one is the appointment of the planning board engineer for 2023. And the motion would be to adopt a resolution appointing Mark Parrish of Rambo as planning board engineer for the year 2023. This motion also approves the planning board engineer's monthly retainer and authorize the planning board chair to execute the same if any written agreement is necessary. Would somebody like to make that a motion?
So moved. Second.
Mr. Duval,
Yes.
Mr. Abbey. Yes. Mr. Snyder,
Yes.
Mr. Bloss.
Yes.
And I vote yes. Mark, congratulations. Thank you, sir. Been a few years.
Lucky you.
Next is the appointment of the planning board attorney for the year 2023. And the motion will be to adopt a resolution appointing Neil Germain of Germain and Germain LLP as planning board attorney for the year 2023. This motion also approves the planning board attorney's monthly retainer and authorized the planning board chair to execute the same if any written agreement is necessary. Would somebody like to make
So
that
moved.
motion? Second. Who made the first? Jim?
Give it to Jim.
Mr. Duval,
Yes.
Mr. Abbey.
Yes.
Mr. Snyder.
Yes.
Mr. Bloss.
Yes.
And I vote yes. Neil, thank you. It's great to have all of you part of the team. And then the next is the establishment of the 2023 planning board meetings. And the motion would be to adopt a resolution establishing the proposed schedule annexed hereto and made a part hereof as Exhibit A, the schedule for 2023 planning board meetings. All meetings shall take place in the Cicero Town Hall and will begin at 6:30 PM unless otherwise advertised. And so these meetings are the first and third Wednesday of each month. There were no conflicts with holidays or anything like that, so that will stand. Would somebody like to make that motion?
So moved. Second.
Mr. Duval,
Yes.
Mr. Abbey. Yes. Mr. Snyder,
Yes.
Mr. Bloss.
Yes.
And I vote yes. Next is my appointment of the deputy chair, and I again would request or appoint Mr. Snyder as the deputy chair for the Town of Cicero Planning Board for the year 2023. Mr. Snyder, would you accept?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. As a reminder, continuing education is required and you have to acquire 4 hours annually. And you can carry over hours if you exceed that 4 hours and carry over for you, just as a reminder. And that takes care of the 2023 appointments. And next item is the approval of the minutes for December 21st, 2022. Any questions or comments? Do we have a motion?
Motion to be approved as printed.
Second. Mr. Duval,
Yes.
Mr. Abbey. Yes. Mr. Snyder,
Yes.
Mr. Bloss.
Yes.
And I vote yes. Minutes have been passed. Now we'll open the meeting to public comment. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to address the board on any active application? Given nobody's approach, we'll close the public input and move on to the first agenda item. And this is for a public hearing for the property at 5586 Legionnaire Drive, a 2-lot subdivision. Hi, John.
Good, happy new year. Good evening. Tim Coyer, I News and Romans Land Surveying. I have extra sets of the maps if anybody wants them. But it's pretty straightforward. It's a 2-lot subdivision from the last time you met. One of my employees, Pat Reynolds, was here representing it. We have slid that property line north 10 more feet, so it's actually 11 feet off the edge of pavement as requested. But again, it's just a 2-lot subdivision of the existing lot 3 of Cicero Meadowlands, roughly 7.6 acres. And we're here for the public hearing.
Great, thank you. At this point, we'll open the public hearing. Is there anybody that would like to address the board on this topic? Given nobody's approach, we'll close the public hearing and open it to questions from the board. Mr. Duval,
I'm good.
Mr. Abbey,
I'm good also.
Mr. Snyder.
We're just curious about, right now, it's only for the sale of the property, but we have no indication whatsoever what we're thinking about.
Nope, property owners haven't said anything about what they're looking to do with it at this time. And usually I get some inclination, but I haven't gotten anything yet.
So we should start a new rumor.
Yes.
Smoke shop.
No.
Mr. Bloss,
All set.
Mrs. Hogan,
All set.
Mr. Procopio,
All set, thank you.
Mr. Jermaine. Mr. Parrish.
All set. Thank you.
I'm all set as well. We need a seeker, correct? I'll make a motion for our standard seeker. We have a second.
Second?
Mr. Duval,
Yes.
Mr. Abbey,
Yes.
Mr. Snyder,
Yes.
Mr. Bloss.
Yes.
And I vote yes, seeker passes. Neil, would you propose a motion for approval, please?
Yes, you're gonna move the adoption of resolution approving the application known as minor subdivision preliminary and final plan. GR Enterprises LLC 5586 Legionnaire Drive, 2 lots, Cicero Meadowlands, Section 1 amended. This approval is strictly conditioned on the following. 1, the applicant is hereby advised that pursuant to 185 subdivision F of the code, that the applicant has 90 days from the approval from this approval to file the map. The applicant, if the applicant misses the 90-day filing deadline, this approval will have expired. 2, the applicant is further notified that the chairman of the planning board may delay signing of the final plan until the chairman verifies that the applicant has executed any necessary undertaking or review of the town.
Would somebody like to make that a motion?
That's in the form of a motion.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Duval,
Yes.
Mr. Abbey,
Yes.
Mr. Snyder,
Yes.
Mr. Bloss.
Yes.
And I vote yes.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Have a good night.
Thank you, Tim. You do the same. Next item is site plan review. This is for Benderson Development. A proposed 60,000 square foot warehouse building at 5789 and 5813 East Tap Road. Good evening.
evening.
Welcome back.
I'm back. It wasn't me last time. It was my engineer, Matt Oates, but I've been here before the board a number of times. James Baglioli, I'm an attorney with Benderson Development. So I know we've seen this plan before. It's a 60,000 square foot warehouse. I think we need to deal with the use first. About 4 years ago, I came in and got the 60,000 square foot addition for Surtec. This is more of the same for them. They manufacture items in the building, electronics, and they bring in supplies and then store the stuff they've built till they ship it out. They're out of space in the building. So we're looking to add more space in a separate building, same uses they're currently doing on site. So it's not anything different than what's in the building now. I can't attach it to the current building. I can't figure that out. So that is the use. It's
So
the
the
same-
product that's coming in is shipped there for them to build what they build.
They bring in electronics, wire, I mean, microchips, everything else that comes in. They build their products. So that stuff comes in, it gets stored, it gets used. They build products, they store those, and then they ship them out. So they're manufacturing there. So basically, this is more space for that.
So they don't have any finished product coming there from another site.
No finished product. They're making the product there and shipping their product out. So that's what this building is for. So that's the use. There was an issue regarding the loading docks facing the residential. I did overlay it on the aerial. And I was unclear about what the issue was, because we did design the loading docks to face the rental place.
Yeah, it's not the orientation of the loading docks per se, as it's the fact that the trucks that leave have to go behind the building
Well, they
to exit the
they
site.
don't. We've been talking to the tenant and they could go in front of the building, up behind SOS and back out the same entrance they're coming in. They don't have to go behind the building. They are actually currently going behind the building because we did meet with them and actually watch their trucks, their current trucks go down Church Street.
Can you do me a favor? Can
Yep.
you grab a pointer and
Yeah.
show on this map,
I
please?
can. Do you have a laser print? Yeah. I'm sorry about this. No easel. So, here we are.
Works, you gotta hold it. Just hold. the
Got it.
Center button.
There we are. Okay, so what we're proposing is they come in this way, back into the docks, and they can go around the outside of the site and back out the same way they came.
No.
Circuit. How they currently go, because we did meet with them and we're on site, is in this driveway. They back in and they go out. So their current truck pattern is currently into this driveway, along the back of the building and into that loading dock, and then back out. That's their current truck pattern. We met with them and that's how they're currently operating. So I know the board has a concern regarding these docks. I don't have a lot of places to put the docks. I could try and relocate the docks to the front of the building here. So you can back in this way. The problem is it doesn't give them access to more of the building because you have a very long building due to the shape of the site. So, but there's currently truck traffic at the site. It's the same user, so I don't know where we think the trucks are coming and going from. But we were out on site with them. So that they are using that back, they're coming right along the back, coming in, backing in and coming out. On the aerial, there's actually a truck in that direction, like shown, that's how it's coming in. So,
Mark, can you pull the aerial?
What's the aerial?
I just got this one on we got it off Google Maps.
You can just do it on Google or whatever. How many trucks are being brought to the site daily now?
I'll find out exactly. I mean, you're looking at
And then how many will be proposed
how many trucks are currently coming out. I can get that.
currently in?
I'll get that information from them.
I'm not sure that reflects.
doesn't show.
So the one we have seems to be newer. But they're currently using this. They come in and they come back out. They're not coming in this way, backing out and coming here. So that's our existing truck pattern,
So they're going down Church Street.
making a left behind the building, coming around the building, going to that new dock that we added here with the 60,000 square foot addition and then back out.
But the concern is the truck traffic on Church Street and then along the back perimeter of the property with the residential there. I was assuming they were coming in the main entrance to service the site.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the traffic pattern we looked at back then, I believe, isn't it?
I think so, yes.
That's not how they're operate. That's not how they're operating. When Mark called me, we actually went out and observed it to see how they were actually operating. And I mean, they're not a 24-hour operation, so I think those trucks are coming in during the day and then leaving. They're not coming in late at night. None of the docks are near the neighbors. We could look at trying to redesign it. It's just a tough site to get the trucks out a different way without either circulating back there, trying to move the docks in the front, or having them circulate around the interior perimeter of the property. Those are our options.
In the building site, reduce.
Not
That was my next question.
not significantly to meet their needs. I mean, they're a really good business in the community. I mean, they need the space. We're having a hard time laying it out for them. The 60,000, I could probably reduce it a little bit, see if we can reorient the docks a little. I could take a stab at that.
Yeah, as you know, the warehouse use is not allowed in this
Yep.
zoning unless it's an accessory use. And to increase truck traffic in that kind of an area is what the concern is, right, with the residential and the residential street and.
It is, I would argue, it is accessory because it's currently going on in the building we have. So the use, I would argue is accessory because that's what's going on in the building now.
Agreed, I agree with that,
So then we could
but then
work,
maybe it's too big.
we can work on trying to scale the building down a little bit. We do own, if you scroll up the aerial a little bit, Mark. Other side down, we do own that green piece of property out in front. Here. So maybe we could work on incorporating that and creating a little more space to try and move the trucks around a little differently. I could take a look at that.
Yeah, I think what we're looking for is. Oh, it's gone.
Sorry.
That's okay. The truck traffic to be using the main entrance
Mhm.
and then having good turning radiuses to be able to access their docking
Yep.
spots and.
We previously had the trucks, the site plan's not up, but on the back of the building, facing their current building. So they would come in here, back in, and then come back out. We could see if that would work. It's just so hard to load the building on a butt end of the building. But we could take a stab at those three options, see what we come up with.
All right,
That's what you suggested the last time, right, Mark? We'll put the loading docks on the end of the building. They drive in, back in, they drive out the same driveway.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I was hoping to
think
see
before
tonight.
they had them facing to the west, but I'd have to go back to that original plan.
Our original plan, Mark, if you put the site plan up, at least internally in our office, had the docks back here.
Yeah.
At this end of the building and coming in.
Go ahead.
And if you have that plan. Oh, we had that one. That was the docks here.
Yeah, so that's showing the docks coming
Yeah.
out over here on the west side.
That plan would allow them to come in, back in and come out this way. We could look at putting that back. I think we pushed it.
No, that wasn't acceptable because you're backing up into a main, you got your main, and this is the main access drive to 5-star, and there's a number, enterprise over
Yeah.
here. So we didn't want to have trucks backing up and performing the, loading and that type of thing in that main drive. We wanted to try and separate the loading dock area from that main drive.
I mean, the only other option is to try and put it on this end of the building. And then they would come in, load this way and come back out. Or the front of the building on this end. Those are our only two options at this point.
Yeah, I understand.
Yep.
I mean, and again, maybe it doesn't fit with the current building size or with the room that's available.
Well, and we work operationally with them. So I mean, we don't want to lose them at this site. So we'll take a look at it.
perfect.
Yep. Thank you.
Done. And the last item on the agenda is to schedule a public hearing for a 4-lot or 5-lot subdivision, I guess. For the property at 7381 Route 31. This is for a Champagne property. Mr. McDermott is representing the applicant.
Michael McDermott, attorney for the property owner Edward Champagne. What we're proposing here is we've got a 28-acre single lot on Route 31 near where the east end of Lakeshore Road comes into 31. Currently, the property is vacant residential land. It's zoned agricultural. We're looking at dividing it into 5 lots. One lot would be landlocked. That's the one to the west, to the left. And that lot would be joined with the current neighbor. The name is Melissa and Albert Daniels. We do have a pending contract to sell that lot to them, subject to the approval from the town. Lot number 1, which would be the remaining 4 lots. Lot 1 currently has a pole barn that my client owns and operates. And then lots 2, 3, and 4, all to the east, would be potentially subject to sale for residential purposes.
Jim, any questions? No. Mr. Abbey?
Yeah.
Mr. Abbey, any questions? Mr. Abbey?
The present zoning is residential or what is it there?
I think it's agricultural, actually. It's a ag district.
Remember years ago, they kind of cleared that area. Used to get maple syrup off the trees there.
Oh, really? Yeah, I wasn't aware of that, but it's been vacant for many years, and I think all the time my clients owned it.
Unfortunately, there's a lot of wetlands.
Yes, that was one issue here. The wetlands are all in the back toward the power lines. That was something that we were dealing with, each of the lots. Once we adjusted for the wetlands and the 100-foot buffer area, it still leaves the land closer to Route 31. Each of the lots would have at least 4 acres. Each of the lots would be approximately 7 acres, but there'd be 4 acres that are outside the wetlands and outside the buffer zone.
Still quite a good size anyway.
Yes, and the frontage on each of the lots is at least 150 foot.
I would guess if that divided it up so they can put some houses
Yes,
in there sometime.
that was the general idea.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Snyder?
I'm good for now.
Mr. Bloss?
Right now, that's all zoned agricultural. Is that correct?
Yes,
You're not looking for any kind of a change in the zoning? No, that's it. I'm all set.
Mrs. Hogan?
No, I'm all set for now. Thank you.
You have a question with the landlocked lot? Does that need to be?
Yeah, I think we can address that. We talked about it earlier. If you join your, the party who's going to be getting part of that parcel, same with your application, and you show that whole lot as a new lot, then I think you could avoid, coming back later.
yeah, we were trying to do it as a single presentation to the town. Originally, this came about because the neighbor expressed an interest in that property behind their house. We decided to sell that to them, and then we figured since we're coming in for that anyway, we might as well think about the future and do it all at once. So what we'll do is we'll amend our application to add that neighbor, and we will show the new combined lot that they'll have after it's over. We can do that right away. So if we could schedule a public hearing, we'll get it all done in time before that.
Mr. Procopio?
All set, thank you.
Mr. Jermaine, anything else? Mr. Parrish?
All set for now.
So we need to set up a motion for a public hearing?
Yeah, you're gonna move for the adoption of resolution called for a public hearing in the matter known as Edward Champier, 7381 Route 31, 4 lots. Subdivision. The public hearing shall commence at 6:30 PM or soon thereafter, as this matter may be heard at a regular scheduled meeting of the planning board on Wednesday, January 18th, 2023.
Would somebody like to make that move? Have a second?
Second.
Mr. Duval?
Yes.
Mr. Abbey?
Yes.
Mr. Snyder?
Yes.
Mr. Bloss?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Public hearing schedule.
Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes our agenda items. Any discussion or comments? I want to thank Nancy White and the town board for the reappointment to my position as chair. It's really a great honor to work with this team, and I'm looking forward to the upcoming items that we're going to be looking at. It's going to be an interesting year. So thank you.
Well.
We have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.